Today I'm going to be going over 5 things that I started doing that pretty much helped me go from 0 placements to becoming a Billboard #1 producer in less than a year. Now, I'm not saying that as soon as you watch this video you're just going to start getting songs with major artists left and right, but I do know that if you follow these steps you'll increase your chances and opportunities to actually landing songs with artists. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I would think is, can I make genuinely good beats or samples for this artist? If the answer is yes, then I'd look more into them, see, do they get frequent Billboard appearances? How often do they release music? And, 2 that I can think right off the top of my mind are Youngboy and Lil Durk. Both of them release music pretty consistently and they get #1 hits all the time. I've seen a lot of people get their first major placements through those 2 artists right there on their recent albums. And also targeting artists who are popping right now is a really great opportunity as well, because a lot of people are listening to them right now. They have a lot of traction. So the chances are if you end up sending out to them and you get a song with them right now and they end up releasing it as a single or on an album, you have a good chance of, ending up on Billboard somewhere. Once you know what artists you want to actually lock in with, the next step is going to be networking to other producers and engineers. And this is probably one of the most important things that you can do. I'm gonna just stress the importance of this real quick, but first impressions last. So for example, like a couple years ago when I started to start focusing on placements, what I did is I started just DMing a bunch of random producers and I just asked for their loop email. And that's probably the worst way that you can go about networking, because you're not actually building a relationship with that person. You're just asking them for their loop email and they probably get DMs from other people asking for that 100 times a day, and it's pretty much just annoying. A much better way to go into networking with someone is like just being genuine, like ask how they're doing or even offer something to them. What you should be doing is you should be looking to build genuine relationships with people that you genuinely want to work with and just create with. You guys should mutually benefit from your relationship together. And what you'll find is that when you build genuine relationships, like it lasts for the long run, because you never know what can happen. Like that producer that you were genuine with, that you built a relationship with, can end up blowing up, and since you guys are tight, you can end up getting even more songs and more placements with them. So you guys might have seen this already, but a great way to network to other producers and engineers is to go on an artist's page on Genius and then find out what their latest album was. And on their album, you can see pretty much all the credits on Genius. You can see the recording engineers, you can see all the producers on there, and there's links to all of their Instagrams too. So I would go check out all those people who helped produce and engineer on the album, and what I would do is I'd see which people you genuinely want to work with, and then I'd reach out to them after that. So the next thing that I started doing is I started focusing on getting my music everywhere possible. That means loop kits, sending out starters to a list of people. Maybe even people send me starters and then I make full loops with their starters and then I send them back to them, and then they send it out to their list, which can add so much opportunity because they're sending out to people that you don't even know. What I can say has worked best for me is actually using other people's starters to make full loops and then sending it out. Not only is it way quicker to send out consistently because you are using someone else's starter, so making the full loop is just going to be easier. If you send that loop back to them and they end up liking it and then they send it out, they're sending out to possibly hundreds of different people that you don't even know. So it just increases your opportunities a lot, and I've already gotten placements with TJ and Moneyman from doing that. So the next thing that I started doing is I started sending out consistently to the people who I genuinely like working with. You're going to find that once you actually do networking the right way and you start building relationships with people that you want to work with, you'll find that when you send out consistently to them, you keep building that relationship. Compared to if you have a list of just like 3,000 people who you don't even know, I think it's way better if you have just a list of people who you're locked in with, who are locked in with industry artists. And the 5th and final thing that I did that I think is most important is I didn't force anything. I see a lot of producers nowadays who are really focused on getting a song with a certain artist, so they might spend their entire day just making loops, making beats for certain artists, just sending out, trying. And what I've seen is that I've done it before, like I spend all this time trying to work with an artist, and when that doesn't happen, I find myself getting really discouraged and frustrated because I spent so much time working on this artist. It just feels like a punch in the gut that other producers are getting songs with them and I'm not. So instead, what I think the best thing to do is spend a certain amount of time each day, doing your networking, sending out your beats or loops, making your music for an artist, and just make that a habit each day of spending time to do that. And then once you send out that music, just move on. That's the most important part. You just need to move on and not look into the past. Don't hit up any producers or engineers asking them if their beats got placed, if their loops got placed. As soon as you hit that send, instead start to think about the future. What's your next move going to be? Who are some other artists that you can possibly work with? So to summarize everything real quick, the first thing that you need to do is target the right artists. Second thing that you should do is effectively network to producers and engineers who are connected with the artist, and importantly, build relationships with that person. Number 3, start getting your music everywhere possible. Number 4, send out consistently to the people who you genuinely like working with. And then number 5, don't force anything and then just move on. Just think about what your next moves are to increase your opportunities to actually get a song with an artist that you want to work with. I hope you guys know how much I appreciate all of you who are watching these videos and how much I want to see you succeed as a producer. And you know, being in this business takes a lot of patience, but if you just keep your head down and just keep on working, then eventually it'll happen. But that wraps it up for this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Come check me out on Instagram at ProdLucent. I post videos and tutorials on there sometimes. You guys can also tap in with me on my Discord server. Link in the description if you guys want to go check out the server or my website for all my kits. But that wraps it up for me. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.